Something I've noticed here towards the end of the Story a Day May challenge is that people are getting much more comfortable with seeing the supports of a challenge like Story a Day as exactly that. And I've noticed that people are starting to make adjustment to their own challenge and how they deal with the challenge. Sometimes they say things like, oh, I wrote something today, but it wasn't really a story, and they're perfectly fine with that. Or maybe even I didn't write today, and they're also fine with that because they're coming back the next day. Or they wrote something that was, not what they expected, or a rewrite or something. Whatever it is, they're discovering that the more they write, the more they see the rules around themselves as supports rather than something rigid. So I brought you out into my garden to look at my tomato here. This bush tomato has this cage that's going to support it as it grows up. Now, if I didn't have this cage here, the tomato plant would be trailing all over the ground, and it would be a lot harder for it to be healthy and not pick up diseases and bad habits. So I've got this cage supporting it, but it's not a cage that is super rigid. If you see that, it flexes and it bends, and some of the branches are coming out beyond the support, and some of the branches are inside it, and it's going to keep growing that way. And I always resist cages in my life, but in my writing I'm discovering that this kind of flexible cage that just provides some kind of structure is allowing me a lot more freedom to produce fruit and to move and grow in my writing life. It's not a very subtle analogy, but it is an analogy I like. Now, conversely, over here I have some indeterminate tomatoes, which I have just supported with these very loose, it's not a rigid structure at all, it's just some twine which I'm using. Now this is more flexible, but will require me to do more management of it. I'm going to have to come out here more and tighten these up. I'm going to have to put new supports up here as this grows and the fruit gets heavier. This is going to require more attention. So my point is, you can have supports for your writing that are as rigid or as loose as you want, but if you're making them loose and flexible, they're going to require more attention. So do consider that support might be good, and think about the types of supports that you want. Do you want something that is semi-rigid but a little flexible? Or do you want something that's very flexible, that's going to require a lot more management and a lot more attention from you, and is liable to drop the fruit on the ground a little bit? Anyway, that's my garden analogy for you today for Story a Day. I hope it's helpful, and I hope it helps those of you who, like me, are a little wary of putting limits and supports and frames and structure around your writing. Sometimes a little structure can be a good thing.